Alright, so we are here to talk about hard comes into play tab lands for EDH and why the general advice is for you not to use them. Alright, so it's basically is any land that basically says comes enter the battlefield tab unconditionally. Okay, alright. So let's say for example, okay, our first turn we put down this one comes to play tab. Alright. Then our second turn we put down an island, a basic land. Then we can tap and we can cast things like Signet. Alright, we can cast things like it's draw discard engine, or you can just straight up draw. Okay, alright. Okay, alright. So you can have your action at turn 2, which is not too bad. Okay, however, alright, if you start with turn 1 you put down a tap land, and turn 2 you put down a tap land, you are basically one turn behind, that's one. And then turn 3 you put down another tap land like this one, you can use your 2 mana, and let's say you put down a Signet, but then you can't even activate your Signet because your third mana comes into play tap, so it is very slow. And that is the reason why it is always advised after you get your precon, alright, the comes to play tap lands, alright, unconditional ones, try to remove them, replace them, ETs and whatnot, because it slows you down really quite a bit. However, of course, the question is are there any good hard come to play tab lands? So I guess we should look at a few of those. Alright, so this is the basic one, is probably the bottom of the barrel ones. Alright, then next up is those that is very similar. Just put them over here, but then you have another line of text where you gain you 1 life, and of course it comes in a cycle. It's like that one as well, it comes in a cycle. Alright, so basically if you don't have a life gain synergy, then it's basically the same as this one. Alright, as the basic one. Right, so next up we have the gate cycles, comes to play that as well. Okay, right. This one is a little bit better because there's a lot of gate payoff. Like for this one, you got the maze end, where if you control 10 gates after you activated it, you win the game. Hey, so yes, okay. And then of course the new Ravnica, it has those that with the gate payoff as well. You have your enchant equipment will get paid off, you have your board wipe, you have your card draw enchantment, you have your creatures being buffed by the gate and whatnot. So if not, then it's basically the same as the earlier one as well, the gates. Alright, then let's go to the ones that give you 3 mana. These ones are basically the same as well. Right, it's also in their cycle. Alright, okay, this time it gives you 3 mana, 3 kinds of mana, 3 kinds of mana instead of 2. So of course, these ones is by default better than this. Then this is then the basic ones. So this is where you can consider keeping them in if you are in 3 color, 4 color, or 5 color decks. Alright, so this one are still borderline, of course, if you are on the budget kind of thing, and like all of this is usually in the pre-cons as well, so it's basically they are free, so it's why not. Alright, so this is the cycle over there. Okay, it's fine. Alright, then we get to some that is not okay. This one is the bounce. Okay, maybe we should start with this one. Okay, it's also from the Ravnica block. It comes to play tap, and then when it comes to play, you bounce a land to the owner's hand. Alright, so this one is still have is the same drawback as well. It comes to play tap, and then you bounce Um, is it better than this? Well, if you're with a landfall team, then yes, it is better than that. Most of the time, it is okay. It's a little bit better. All right, but if you get it in your opening hand and you have like 2 or 3 lands in your opening hand, and this is one of it, it's going to feel bad. All right, so temper yourself. I mean, this one is of course, I mean, it's most of the time it's better than the earlier one because it actually can guarantee you another land drop. However, I mean, like, you have to see your deck accordingly. This is okay, right? So of course it's another cycle one, and this is where it's the original one. The original one is not a very good one. It comes to play tap, and then you have to bounce and untap Swamp, like for this one, and then from that you get 1 black mana and 1 colorless mana. As opposed to this one, you can tap the land first, then you can, for mana, then you can bounce it back to your hands. So if you're ever you're wondering, you are probably better, but I mean, definitely put this one in first before considering this one. And of course, it's the same cycle as well. It's in the pre-con as well. So this one is also one of those that you can that you should consider strongly consider it to change to change them up. All right, because it feels really bad if you have it in your hand. All right, and then next up we can come to these ones where you have to jump through the over here. It enter the battlefield tab, and then when it enter the battlefield, you have to pay 1 mana. Then after that, you can get any mana of your mana. I mean, is of your type. Generally, I will consider this one to be the same in the ballpark with, I mean, this ones. All right. Basically, the whole idea is it feels bad for you to be in your opening hand, but then for this one, I will actually put it in a little bit lower, because it's what happens over here. You are just better off ramping into a signet. All right, for example, okay, it enters the battlefield tab. There's 1 mana. So if there's 1 mana, and then as it enter the battlefield, you are not going to let it die, so you're going to spend the other mana to tap it. So you just spend 2 mana. With that one, so you use the 2 mana to cast a signet, and then basically you ram next turn for the next turn. So this one I put it in even at a lower priority. More often than not, I will put it the same as a vanilla, as the basic ones. Yeah, as the basic ones. Yeah, it's over here. If it was a 4 or 5 color deck, if you are playing like 3 colors, then you should skip this one, or it's all together. All right. So yeah. Okay. Let's go on. Let's put clear back. So next one. So we are heading into the better ones. The better ones are like for like this is Marsh, the cycle, Viva Create Groove. Okay, and it is I come to this later. All right. It comes to play tab. All right. So tab. Then you put down 2 charge counters. All right. So you have your option of black. I mean, or it's of like the normal basic land, or you can take 1 charge counter out and you can add any mana to your mana pool. So if you're playing 5 colors, I mean, this one is much better than the 3 color ones. Where's the 3 color ones? Yeah. It is not to say it's much better. I mean, it's more flexible than the 3 color ones. All right. So not too bad that you get 5 of them in a cycle. You can do quite some stuff. All right. Okay. Then of course we have this one as well. It comes to play tab. Grand Colosseum. Then when you tap, you can add for 1 mana, or you can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and it deals 1/1 damage to you. So it's something like a City of Brass kind of thing. Comes to play that, well, it is a better one, because if you are playing 5 color as well, you need all the mana fixing sources you can get if you are playing a 5 color. Alright, so this one is alright. Okay, next we go to the temper cycle, and of course, I mean, it's basically just call it's a temper cycle. Alright, when it comes to play tap, of course, but then as it enters the battlefield, you scry 1. Right, so what happens is this: usually your deck is like, I mean, your EDH deck is like 1/3 of a mana source. Alright, so if you play this one and you scry, you don't see a land, you put it down. Alright, then then you got a 50% chance that the next one, it is a land. Let's say that you need the land. Alright, if you are flooded and then you see a land and you don't need the land, of course you can put it down. So it's like, so it's basically, in another way, it's like a 0.5 kind of draw kind of thing. The square one is like a 0.5 value of a draw. It's not actually a draw, but it filters off. So this one works in the early game where you probably need your land. Okay, so you scry for your land. Or if you are in the late game, you don't need the land, you just scry away the land on top of your library. So I mean, this is the better one for come to play tap. I will actually judge a lot of come to play tap against, I mean, a tap of abandon. Alright, so this is, so we are here, we are talking about hard comes to play tap lands that we are using for mana. Alright, there are hard comes to play tap lands that we are not using for mana, that we are using for abilities, but it will be on another video. Alright, so recap, the better ones are the Temple of Abandon. These ones are passable, it's alright. Okay, this one, the basic ones, this one, I mean, sorry, this one's alright. You just try not to use them. Alright, just try not to use them. And then the rest, of course, it basically goes on your budget, goes on your deck. Land for, I mean, land for maybe life gain or this kind of thing. Alright, so thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next video.